Real Madrid has performed his 4th victory consecutive in the Champions League and has officially qualified for the next stage of the Champions League. Can't miss this show. Let's start right now. Muy buena, mi gente, aquí nos encontramos nuevamente en otro programa de fútbol con Bamba.
Dentro del área, golpea Petit, Zidane y gol. Ha marcado Zidane el 1-0 para Francia.
Welcome everybody, and here we go. This is actually Real Madrid, or football con Bamban. Real Madrid actually playing and having his 4th victory consecutive in the Champions League. This is very interesting because in this section we can actually see that Real Madrid has been able to perform in the Champions League, has been able to excel and win every single game that is had in this group. So his group, to remind everybody, has been Naples, Braga from Portugal, and Union from Berlin and Germany. So Naples is from Italy, obviously, for you who don't know. But the reality is Real Madrid is 12 points ahead in this group with 2 games or 6 more points up for grab. Real Madrid will be enough for him to actually tie a game, should be enough to be able to be leader in the group, even though Naples, with 2 victories in the game, will be able to possibly to surpass or to be able to tie Real Madrid in the points, having their math. So we'll be able to tie it. If it wins both and Real Madrid ties 1, it will be tied at 13 points, and then it will be conflicts about difference of goal difference. But having that said, what we will say is it's very interesting because still the 2nd position is up for grab. Now, Real Madrid, we know that plays Naples at the end of November, and then at the beginning of December, it's actually going to play against Union of Berlin. Now, if Naples ends up losing against Real Madrid, and let's assume that Braga actually beat Union of Berlin at the end of November, then we will have Naples with 7 points and Union of Braga with 6 points, which will leave that the last game, which is Braga versus Naples, will be the decisive game to be able to go ahead to the next round. Now, we will know in that occasion that a tie or a victory for Naples will be suffice, but a victory of Braga over Naples would actually take over and have Braga going and passing on to the next round, and then Naples most likely will be passing to the European League. Now, having that said, this is going to be very interesting to see the end. This group has not been settled completely yet, but let's talk a little bit about what went on in Real Madrid Champions League. And what went on in the Champions League is that Real Madrid came out with a lineup, a little bit of alternation. Now, we know that Kepa got hurt a little bit in the practice right before the game, so Adrian Looney had to be able to come on as a goalkeeper. And what a day he had, because we will talk a little bit about exactly what he performed. But let's talk about what the defensive looked like. And we saw that Anchellotti gave a little bit of rest to Carvajal and David Alaba. We know that David Alaba has been playing a lot of games consecutively, so he wanted to give a little bit of air and bring Nacho Fernandez to play. We have Rudiger in the center back with Nacho, and then Ferland Mendy, who just came back from an injury that he suffered during the Clásico, was actually being back to give a couple minutes for being later on sub out, because just giving him enough time to be coming back to his rhythm. Luka Bakke came for Carvajal. In this match, we know that Luka Bakke did not have one of his best days. He will, if there's one game that he would like to forget, it's this one. But in the midfield, we saw that, knowing that Tchouaméni is actually hurt, now we know that Camavinga, Federico Valverde, and Toni Kroos, which is actually going to be a lot, the midfield that we're going to be seeing in this team, is going to be this trio is actually going to be the most common one that I think Anchellotti is going to stick with. And then in the forward, where Brahim was covering a little bit more like the mid-attacking, but it's more like a 4-3-3, and it's Brahim Diaz, Rodrigo Goes, and actually Vinicius Jr. Now, you'll be surprised, they're probably saying, why is Jude Bellingham not playing? Well, Jude Bellingham in the previous match, which Real Madrid tied and Rayo de Vallecano, hurt himself a little bit or had a sore shoulder on one of the incidents that he had in the game. So therefore, they just giving him a little bit of safety factor, letting him rest a little bit and recover from this pain. Nothing severe. He's actually going to be playing for the national team of England also as well. So it tells you that his medical feedback is very positive, and it's just a little bit of a bump towards him. But Brahim Diaz came inside, taking all the times that he can and took advantage of every single minute that he could play. So let's talk about a little bit about this game, because this game started and Braga came in order to try to look for the first and the lead and try to beat Real Madrid, especially knowing that Real Madrid tend to start very slow in the games and is very susceptible to become and receive goals in the early minutes. Not only that, they know Lunin is actually, as a goalkeeper, that he has not been playing often, so therefore they wanted to try it out. Having this said, we see that Lucas Vázquez commit a very, very, very innocent penalty. He grabs the shirt of Diallo. Diallo comes in to try to score as a penalty kick, and what happens is Saint Lunin comes in, guesses right where the penalty is going, and is able to stop it, giving this a big boost of morale for Real Madrid players, especially for Lunin, because he needed things like this. And at the post game, he was talking about how happy he is to give him an opportunity. And this is type of the scenario that he said is not difficult, it's not easy to come inside and perform at the highest level, especially with this big team like Real Madrid, where there's high expectation after not playing as much as he wants to be playing, but therefore he keeps motivated to keep at the highest level in himself in the practices for this type of occasion. So he had an amazing game. He didn't have too much homework to do, because Braga was not able to attack as much to Real Madrid, but they did cause a couple of events, and Lunin really did perform the amount of times that he had to perform. Now we saw Lucas Vázquez, as I mentioned to you. Lucas Vázquez basically just came up, had a lot of mistakes, had a lot of innocent mistakes. They were beating him on speed. They were beating him on guessing the target. His touch was not there. His passing was erratic. Everything for Lucas Vázquez was very a nightmare for this day. And that's one of the reasons why Carlo Anchellotti had to bring back on the second half Dani Carvajal for him. But Lucas Vázquez, the positive note that he did is did an assistant during the game, especially for the second goal. So having this said, Brahim Diaz comes inside and makes a goal, which he celebrates with passion. And then this goal gets disallowed because of the VAR. Now the VAR, well, of course, the ref on the side actually calls it offside. VAR confirms it. It comes and be called offside. This actually puts a little bit aside Brahim Diaz, because he thought he was actually scoring when he needs to perform about his level to say, hey, I want some minutes in the game. So it comes out to be that Brahim Diaz ends up scoring the first goal. Rodrigo Goes gives him the pass. Rodrigo Goes goes dribbling all the way to the line, ends up passing it backwards. Brahim Diaz just does a touch, passes it over the goalkeeper in the top part of the pole, gets it inside, and makes a signal as go check it in the VAR and see if this one you can disallow it. So I was very happy for Brahim Diaz. He went and he hugged Carlo Anchellotti after the goal. And it comes out to be that when Brahim Diaz was substitute, he went and gave a very passionate hug to Carlo Anchellotti, which we already know what that was said in that moment. And he said, thank you, coach, for the opportunity. You know, I hope that, you know, to continue to do this for the team. And then Carlo Anchellotti said, hey, you did an amazing job. Keep up the good work and you will have more minutes guaranteed. So therefore, it's already said that Brahim Diaz is going to have a lot more minutes. Now we know that Carlo Anchellotti has confirmed that the unfortunate scenario for Brahim Diaz is that he plays the same position apparently for that Jude Bellingham. And we already know that between Jude Bellingham and Brahim Diaz, the coach trusts more Jude Bellingham, and Jude Bellingham is having an amazing start of the season. So, but one thing that Brahim Diaz actually demonstrated on this game is he rotated a lot towards the left and towards the right, so he could show Anchellotti that he can play in either one of the sides, and he can support and be able to be lethal anywhere that he goes. So this is going to be very positive to see this young player actually waking up. But we know also and that Rodrigo Goes and Vinicius Jr. has not had the best start, especially Rodrigo Goes, in the system of Real Madrid. They have not been able to carry the luggage of Real Madrid. Everything has been Jude Bellingham, and now that Jude Bellingham is not playing, everything comes out and say, hey, you guys need to step up. And they did. They both did. In the second half of the game, well, Rodrigo Goes actually won the MVP of the match, because it had one of the best games that he had. But he ends up, Lucas Vázquez giving to Vinicius Jr. A goal in the minute 58, and then in minute 61, Vinicius Jr. actually gives an assistance to Rodrigo Goes, which was an amazing pass that it was behind Rodrigo Goes, so he, from the back leg, pushes the ball forward, is able to score inside. Lucas Vázquez give also the goal for Vinicius Jr., gives us the pass. Vinicius heads the ball a little bit towards the right-hand side. Goalkeeper was moving, and Vinicius crosses to the opposite goalpost. So therefore, it gave an amazing status in this point to be able to recover for this this point. Real Madrid having 3-0. Everybody was expecting for the debut of Nico Paz and the debut of Arda Güler. Now, Nico Paz comes in minute 77 for Fede Valverde and was able to come inside and immediately gives a little bit of sensation and creates a little bit of difficulty for the opposite team, and almost created a big momentum for like a goal opportunity. But this was demonstrating that this youngster, which Toni Kroos has actually told Carlo Ancelotti, this kid should no longer be playing with the youth or the second squad. This kid should be practicing full-time with the first squad. So Carlo Ancelotti saw this, knows that this is a very agile player. This is a very intelligent player. He has goals on his legs and on his game, and he's tall and fast and physical. So what it's expected from him is for him to come inside, to join, to be having a little bit more participation with Real Madrid, especially with these teams that Real Madrid is considered to be very and far superior. So this is going to be a youngster that we're going to have to start seeing, and we'll definitely have good presence of him. We can't guarantee that he will stick around in Real Madrid, but he would definitely have an opportunity because Carlo Ancelotti has guaranteed, and see that he said and confirmed that he's done very well. Now let's talk a little bit about Arda Güler. Now Arda Güler is a Turkish wonder boy for them. He has been coming inside Real Madrid. He's unfortunately got injured with his knee. He had a long period of injury to recover. Then after that, when he was finally thinking that he was recovering, he ends up falling back again with another injury. And it comes out to be that Real Madrid has said, we're going to take it slow with him, and we're not going to come inside and force him to go inside in the game. Now, everybody was expecting for him to come inside here because he's been practicing a lot more. Not only that, he was finally assigned to be in the squad. And it comes out to be that being 3-0, what's expected? You're going to give a chance to the kid, right? Well, it didn't happen. Anchellotti was seen after the game, giving him a hug, talking to him and whispering to his ear. It is said by the newspaper that he said, I will put you in when you're 100%. That's a promise. So therefore, it might be that Anchellotti still thinks that he needs a little bit more time to recover, or he wants to be able to be better on to recover on him. My belief, to be honest with you, my opinion, is that Carlo Ancelotti did not want, or Real Madrid did not want to take the risk of this kid looking good in these games, and these last two games, right, before the national team pause, and been able to take the risk that he plays with his national team, and then it comes out to be that he gets hurt, and then we have to be a lot more period just waiting for this kid to come inside. Real Madrid has invested a lot of money, a lot of time, and does not want to be able to have him go and force himself too much, too quick, and be able to fall. He's very young. He's going to recover. He's going to have time to shine. So this is one of the options where my belief is, because we found out after the match that the coach for the national team and of Turkey was actually present in Santiago Bernabeu. So we know that this might have been that he was trying to see how Arda Güler responded on his debut with Real Madrid. So this is very interesting. This very part. Now, before we finish the show right here, let's talk a little bit about what Carlo Ancelotti talked about on the press. And he specifically sent a message to Pique. What did he send? Why did he have to respond to Pique? It's because Pique, in one of the interviews that he had in Catalonia, in Barcelona, what he said that for Real Madrid, the last Champions League would not be remembered. Now, this is funny because this is one of the most memorable Champions League that Real Madrid has been able to do. Now, let's remind you, they came back and beat Paris Saint-Germain. They came back and beat Chelsea. They came back and beat Manchester City. This has been one of the most epic Champions League that Real Madrid has ever had from the 14 that they had. Everybody remembers number 10 because Sergio Ramos scored on minute 92. Everybody remembers number 14 because of the epic comebacks and the way that Real Madrid was able to win this Champions League. So this was said by Pique that nobody will remember this. And then Anchellotti said, Pique must live in another world because there's no way that any person from Real Madrid, and when he's talking about any person from Real Madrid, he's talking about the majority fans around the world because it's proven by numbers that there's more Real Madrid fans than any other club. So he's saying that any Real Madrid fan would never forget about how special the number 14 was. So this is an answer for Anchellotti, which we know that Gerard Piqué loves to throw these type of comments. We know Gerard Piqué would love to be part of the president of Barcelona in the future. So it's something expected that he's always going to lean towards Barcelona. That's his squad. That's his team. He always likes to poke a little bit the bear towards Real Madrid side. So something like this is not something that amazes us, but the response from Carlo Anchellotti was epic. So with this, I let you guys to see. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, hit the subscribe button. If you haven't liked it, hit the like button. Give me your comment. Let me know. We're going to continue to talk about, football with Baban. And don't forget, this weekend, Real Madrid plays against Valencia. So it's a very important game. Now that Real Madrid is in the second position in the league and Girona is number 1, leading by 2 points. So it's very important that Real Madrid looks for a victory if he doesn't want to fall too far behind from Girona. So I'll see you guys until next time. Fútbol con Baban. Ciao!